Hello everybody and welcome back to Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson, and today I have a video where the question is, what do you do if you get given a load of cuttings from a succulent plant and you don't know what to do with them? Well, don't fret because I'm going to show you here. So in front of me, you can see that I have this terracotta pot. It's a low pot, it's a wide pot, and that is absolutely perfect for the plants I'm going to be putting in it today. I've already mixed the soil, so I'm ready to go. This is a gardening mix that I have put 2 big cups of sand in, mixed it well together, a little bit of biochar, and this will keep the soil loose so that it doesn't clump together too much. And also when I water the pot, it will be able to seep through to the bottom and also evaporate out of the sides and the top very easily, because succulent plants do not want to be sitting in water for too long, that's for sure. We know that. So this is a perfect area for these cuttings. Now, I have my bag here of the cuttings that I'm going to be putting in this pot today. So I'll start by getting them out of the bag so you can see what they are. So first I need to swap around. So I have my bag here and my terracotta pot over in the corner. And I have myself a tray so that I can place out all of my cuttings in this tray so you can see them, because I have a lot. So let me get these up here. There we go. Lots of little bits and bobs, and this is going to be quite interesting to see when I've got them all up, so that you know what I'm talking about here. So we have lots of little bits here. There we go, and they're absolutely beautiful. So the name of these plants is Aloe juvenna, and they're otherwise known as tiger tooth aloe because they have these teeth-like edgings to their leaves. And this plant is very often misnamed in shops when you go to buy it. It will probably be marked as Aloe squarrosa, which is the Yemen aloe. And that plant actually grows in Scotland in Yemen. And there's a big difference between the two plants. But first, I'll quickly put a picture of the Aloe squarrosa next to me here. This plant, you can see, has longer, thinner leaves, and at the same time, the leaves fold back and down, so they're not straight out. Whereas the Aloe juvenna that I have here has shorter leaves. They can get longer as well, but they stick out and they don't fold down. So let's have a look at them closer up now. So here it is. This is one of the thicker pieces of these cuttings I have here. And you can see the leaves are straight and stick out, and they've got their tiger teeth along the edges here. They have the characteristic white spotting on the leaves like other aloes have. So have a look at this closer. There you go. You can see it very clearly how the leaves are quite compact as they grow out, and if the plant's not getting enough light, they can start legging out, as you can see with this piece here, stretching and getting longer. But if they get plenty of light, they'll stay quite compact like the ones down here. But they're very beautiful. If you look at this all the way around, this is the lovely aloe that I'm going to be planting today. And just before I go back and start putting them in the pot, this is all of my cuttings here. I have lots of them, and some of them even have roots still attached. Look at that. Absolutely lovely, that one. And this one also has roots still attached to it. That's so great. That means these will be able to carry on easily in their new pot. So I actually got these a couple of days ago, and they've been sitting in that bag, drying out and sealing off on the bottom, so I know that they are ready to be placed directly into the soil. So if you're anywhere where it's not that bright or it's a little bit cold and so forth, I would suggest that you let all your succulents callus over before you pot them. If you're somewhere where it's much warmer and perfect temperatures or perfect light or perfect conditions you have indoors for them, well, then you can just put them straight into the soil and they'll carry on producing roots for you within a couple of weeks. And just to show you a difference between the aloe vera plant that we're very much used to in our homes, this is the most common aloe vera plant around. This is Aloe barbadensis Miller, and this is a plant that's good if you've cut yourself or anything like that. You can break a leaf and rub some of that sap onto your cut and it will help to heal it, and it's also good for your skin, and it's used in a lot of products around the world, beauty products. So this is the Aloe barbadensis Miller. Absolutely gorgeous plant that I actually have in another video I did a while ago, and it's doing very well. It's produced a lot more leaves for me. It hasn't been in absolutely bright direct light or anything like that. I had it outside all summer last year, and then I brought it in. It was in my kitchen here in the eastern facing window for a while and enjoyed that. And then I moved some of my plants around and I put it into my indoor terrace garden where it's a much darker window, northwest facing, and it's still been doing fine. So I'm looking forward to putting this back outside on my table in my outdoor terrace garden again this summer to give it a boost so it can grow out many more leaves. So anyway, back to this plant. We are going to put this straight into this terracotta pot here, and what I'll do is, it's quite prickly. The stems that have a lot of leaves near the bottom, well, I'm just going to take a couple off so that I can make sure that I get some of that stem into the soil. But I think I'll start with the tallest one to put in the middle of the pot, right? Just move my aloe vera around this way a little bit. So I have my pot here. I also have myself a spoon. You can use anything to make a little hole. So I'm using a spoon, I'll use the other end. So I'll pull some of these leaves off the bottom here. They just rip off quite easily. Just to give me a little bit of a base. So off with those. And anything that may be browning or damaged on the inside, you can take that out at the same time. This is a nice long piece. So I'm just going to put this now straight into the middle of my pot as my first one. And there it goes. It's as quick and easy as that. This is not anything that's rocket science. This is not anything that's difficult. Don't worry about the depth and all that. As long as your succulent stands up, it will figure out growing roots itself very easily. The only thing that's important is you need to make sure that it's getting enough light and getting enough warmth to keep it happy so that it doesn't rot out. So that means don't go over watering this pot in the beginning. Leave it for a couple of days. Water it, not all the way through, just a little bit around the surface because it's got no roots. It doesn't need this whole soil here soaked with water because it will take too long to dry. So just around the surface, and then when it's dry, water again, and then this plant will just take off. So let's get all of these in there now. Some a little bit broken in the top. I'm not worried about that. I like plants that don't look absolutely perfect as well. It's a part of life. It's the way we all look. So just a few dead leaves off the bottom of this one. This has a nice bottom. Any leaf that's half broken, I'll just pull those off. And the rest is okay. So I can get this one and say, oh, you look nice round about here. And then put him in. Done. Next one. This is so much fun. Now I have this one that's got lots of big roots, and I really do want to keep the roots on it to give it a quicker fighting chance. So just taking off the leaves around the bottom there. The rest of this is actually quite fine. So this one, I'm going to have to dig a little hole. And I think I'm actually going to put this one at the back. So I'm going to dig out a little bit more of a hole to put that whole root in there. So basically, just dig right down to make sure that root can get in there. And then put your plant in. And then back around with the soil. Just like this. And that one's standing up too. So that was no problem. And that's got a great root system to get it going straight away. I have another one here that has a big root, some dry leaves that I can just take off from around the bottom again. Some around the middle that are a little bit dry as well. Take those off as much as I can. There. And I'll put this one on the other side of this one. And they don't have to all be facing the same way. So that one is facing a little bit more forward. So this one I'm going to have facing a little bit more back. Towards the back of my pot. Oh, I need to use the thicker end because I need to get this big root into a big hole here. So in there, and then use your finger just to put the root down in and the soil around a little bit, and then all done. Yes. And the more you put in, the more they support each other as well, right? So now I need to get another one around the front here. This one looks pretty good. Just a few dry leaves here. And then this one should be able to go in quick and easy. Now I need to put it a little bit to the side because I have a big one, I can see a thick one, that I'm going to have to place in next to it here. So that's in there now. Perfect. I have this thick one that I'll have to take a few more leaves off, otherwise I'll have no base on it to get it into the pot. So all these leaves off. I think that's enough. It doesn't need too much. And the top's broken off, but this will figure it out and produce a new top, probably. So this one, actually I don't even need to make a hole. I can just push this onto the soil like that and it will figure it out. So now this pot is already looking quite full up, right? And it looks really amazing. Another one here, doesn't have much of a bottom, so I'm just going to take a leaf off. That's enough with those two. And I want to put this one here. It's got a bit of a thicker base, so I just want to make a hole for this one. And I'll put that there. Perfect. And then I have this one that had a broken leaf. Take that off. Place this one. Where is there a thicker space here? There's a bigger space here. So I'll put this one here. Little hole. In it goes. Yes. And then I have a couple of thin ones that I will just place in directly. That one went in smoothly. I have another smooth one to go in here, for example. So this is already looking really, really good. So now you're probably wondering if I'm going to throw these leaves that are here out. No, I'm not. I am just going to place these in the soil because there's a good possibility that these leaves will produce roots and new stems of their own, because every leaf on this kind of plant, a succulent, will turn into a new plant in the right circumstances. So we might as well give everything a chance. So put a little leaf here. Make a little hole so we can get it in there. Yes. Another one here. Anywhere there's a slight little gap, I'll just put in a leaf. I don't want to waste any of these cuttings that I got, because now I have another beautiful plant here. So I don't want to waste any of the joy. There's another one there. And another one here. Perfect. And another one here. Quite a big one, so we'll put this one here. And then this one here. And if any of them dry off and disappear, it doesn't matter. I have all the big ones. I won't notice really. So it's just an extra little plus. Why not do that? Another one here. Where do I have space? A little space here. And a little space here. And that's it. These little stragglers here, I can't use those pieces. So there we go. What do you think about that? All my cuttings in their terracotta pot, looking gorgeous, and well, they look like they've always been in this pot like this. And I know that they will do really well. To give them an extra boost, I am going to put them in my Mars Hydro grow tent under my White Spectrum LED grow light, which will give them a lovely, intensive amount of light that they need to boost out their roots. And I think they'll do really well. And also it will make sure that they start growing in this more compact fashion rather than stretching out and legging out towards the light in the beginning here. I really want these to fill out this pot, and I hope they're going to pop out and fill out this pot as beautiful as their mother plant did. So this is really, really wonderful. So let me bring it in for you to have a quick closer look. So here they are. Don't they look fabulous? Now I need to be a bit careful because I don't want them to fall off or fall out of the pot. But if I turn the pot around, you can see everything. And even that there are small leaves in there, small stems and thicker stems. And even though they've been sitting on the side for at least 3 days, they're really, really happy. And they will just take off now. So look at those closer up. Wonderful, right? Really lovely, lovely, lovely combination. Look at that. That was just a perfect transformation. So now that I've finished repotting my beautiful Aloe juvenna, I want to give some care tips so you know what to do with this beautiful plant. This plant does like bright light. So when you have it indoors, a perfect spot will be in bright, indirect light in a southern exposure. And as the plant gets more used to the light, then you can have it indirect light, but definitely as bright light as possible to keep the shape and the form and to keep the plant growing happily and healthily. When it comes to watering, as I said before, water the plant at first, especially these cuttings, shallowly. Let it dry out and water again. When the plant fills out, then you'll be able to go and thoroughly water the plant through and then allow the plant to dry out and then water again. So if it's a hot summer, maybe you need to do this once a week, or maybe you need to do it every other week, depending on the temperature where you live. And some places maybe just once a month. And during the winter, I would definitely say only once a month or every other month, depending on how dark or cold the temperature is indoors. This plant can take being in situations as low as between 6 and 10 degrees Celsius during the winter time. It definitely won't survive freezing temperatures, so no lower than around 6 to 10 degrees Celsius during the winter and you'll be okay with your houseplant. So as you've seen from this video, this plant is really easy to propagate. You can split parts of the plant with the root on and plant that like I did here. You can take stem cuttings and plant them in the pot of soil like I've done here. You can take offshoots, small offshoots like I have here as well, and place those into the pot. And that is the easiest way to propagate any kind of aloe really. Even this aloe over here, pups will come up eventually and they can be split or left to grow together in a clump. And they just look lovely in this clumping formation to fill out a pot. So that's really easy. But you can go anywhere on the stem. And as I said, you can even propagate from a leaf. And that's why I put the leaves in the pot. So today you saw a lot of the different propagation methods in just one pot. This plant is non-toxic for humans and animals. So you can safely have this around your dogs and cats, your pet parrots, your budgerigar, and all sorts of other lovely pets that you have at home. This plant is fine and it can protect itself too, as I said, with its sharpish tiger teeth. These plants, when they flower, they get long spikes, and those spikes have red-orange flowers on them with a yellow mouth, and they look absolutely beautiful. So that would be a lovely thing to behold when your aloe flowers for you one day, right? I can't wait for that to happen with mine. Imagine if they all did that together. That would be a beautiful show and would actually look like the flower on my hibiscus rosa sinensis next to me here. The same kind of colours, actually, as the flowers that come out on this plant. And this plant, if it is very happy, if this plant was in an outdoor situation or it's getting all the right circumstances indoors, can actually grow these stems to around 30 centimeters tall or long if they're hanging out to the sides, but around 30 centimeters long. And the actual clumping plant with all of its offsets and pups could get to around 61 centimeters wide. Now that is a huge plant that could spread out in an area and look gorgeous. This particular plant, it's said that it originates from Kenya or places around the southern African continent. So absolutely beautiful, and I'm sure there are so many different varieties of these aloes around and about there that turn lovely red colours and orange colours in the bright burning sun, and then when they're in the shade more, they turn green like this. And I'm sure this plant will probably be able to do the same thing in bright direct light. It will probably turn red, and I know that happens with my Aloe barbadensis Miller. This turns red in bright light, and then it will turn this dusty grey green colour in the shade. So it's absolutely beautiful that they switch and change their colours up as well. Oh, I'm so pleased with this. But anyway, that's all I have for you for this video. I just wanted to make a video so you could see how I pot up my cuttings that I got from this beautiful plant, and we'll see how they go. I'm sure this is going to be amazing. So if you have any kind of aloe plants, don't be afraid to get in. Prune, propagate, split and divide them, or just leave them growing in a beautiful big clump together, because they are quite easy plants and very forgiving plants and beautiful plants to behold. Just don't overwater them because they will rot out. Oh, you are gorgeous. Anyway, all I have to say now is thank you very much once again for watching Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell so you know when my next video will be coming up. And I will see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.